Yeah, with shut the fuck up. Okay. So, welcome to the 1K Compo Studio. I'm Waffle of Youth Uprising, and here we have Branch, Segrel, Eladith, Urs, and Venom Soup. So, quite a lot of visitors here, and this is actually the first real-time competition of Assembly this year for the new school platforms. And I would say that the results were pretty damn excellent compared to last year.
Yeah.
Any comments?
Yeah. There was a lot more music than last year, and okay, so, there was a lot of MIDI, but at least there were some innovative ideas.
Yes. How about you, Segrel?
Yeah, I was positively surprised. Compared to last year, there was more music, there was better colors, some colors still, but
yeah,
we're progressing there.
Especially in the Linux
yeah,
platform.
But that's natural.
How about you, Eladith?
Well, it was actually a bit depressing because the level at the higher end starts to be completing with 4K intro, so the ease of entrance is going to be horrible. I'm never going to get my own 4K intro ready at this rate if 1K or something like this.
Yeah, I heard a rumor that you are going to do a Haskell 1K intro next year.
Ah, yes. There's the slight possibility that it will delay to the year 2020.
Okay. How about yours?
Yeah, but I mean, the rumor that people have been saying that 1K is the new 4K certainly confirmed itself in this compo, because we had all kinds of rendering. We had software rendering, we had ray marching, we had rasterizing, and we had strange things that looked like Monte Carlo light plots for, or even though we're not sure. We had music in almost every entry, and it was basically everything you had in a 4K compo 10 years ago.
But we didn't have multiple parts.
We did have multiple parts in one of the entries.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Not much, but some. How about you, Venom Soup?
Yeah, I have to agree to us. I think it's safe to say that 1K is the new 4K.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm awaiting the day that 1K is the new 64K, because 4K is the new 64K,
yes.
and so it's it always impresses me how they manage to pack even more stuff, even more awesome stuff in this small file size.
Yes, it might take a couple of years before we get to the level of 4Ks and 64Ks, because there's also the progress in the 4K area, especially. So, but I was really impressed, because at least when I wrote down these notes in the hall, and well, okay, some of my notes are like completely overwritten by other notes, but I noticed that the amount of software synthesizers this year were totally in rise, because last year I calculated that there was only one software synthesizer, but this year there was at least 4 software synths. None in Windows, but in OS X and Linux platforms, and of course Amiga. There were software synthesizers. So, what do you think is the software synthesizer? What do you think about the quality of 1K? Is it about music or about the visuals?
I think it's all of them, and I have to add that there's also, I know it's hard in 1K, but you should also have some kind of design.
Yeah.
I mean, some basic design. There were entries that didn't have that.
Yeah. Yeah, of course. But well, especially in the Linux platform, I have seen that also in demo entries, that somehow the coders that are coding the kernel doesn't know how to do the colors right.
Yeah, there was a lot of Dutch colors.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the so-called Dutch color scheme that you have only the FFOOOO color there and so on. So, but I'm still pretty confident that next year the quality will be much better than this year. There was a bit less entries this year. We had only 13 entries here, but the quality was definitely really good. And especially the last entry called Andres by P01, which was coded in JavaScript and WebGL. It was, in my opinion, totally impressing. You have the mountains and the sky and some sort of music, or at least ambient music there. Yeah. So what did you think about is JavaScript the new hardcore size optimizing platform?
Well, what we've seen in this compo is that everybody did some kind of trade-off, and all the JavaScript people put a lot of effort into the graphics. Whereas in all the JavaScript entries, music was either non-existent, or in this case, it was simply white noise, maybe pulsating a little bit.
Yeah.
Whereas in this one Linux entry, the graphics part was obviously done in a very small amount of space, and the soft synth, on the other hand, sounded awesome.
Yes.
So I'm not actually convinced that this last one was that much of a smashing thing, because rendering a full screen quad in JavaScript is very compact. Doing sound in JavaScript is very hard. On the other hand, rendering a full screen quad in Linux is very difficult, and doing soft synth in Linux is very compact. So it always depends on what people do with their platform.
Yes, and of course the last entry looked a bit like a 1K intro in Icons 2008, where this was the I think it was some Danish guys who did this 1K intro with a really nice mountain view and some piano MIDI music and everything. So this was, I think this they had totally inspired about that tune, but that weren't that good. But also because I have done some OS X size coding, and I noticed that there was the fifth entry of this competition was Rampant, which was the only OS X entry done in 1K, and it had a software synthesizer and OpenGL.
It had good drums.
Yes, good drums and good color scheme. So I was really darn impressed about that.
Yeah, since that was really, I think, atmospheric, which is nice for a 1K.
Yeah.
And it had some kind of design.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and this mellow music, I really enjoyed the mellow music of it. Like also the traction intro, which was number 8.
Yeah.
I think it really made a good use of both the music, but also it had great visuals with this cell shading style look.
Has been a lot of these distant estimated fractal demos recently, but they took one tiny effort to actually make it look good instead of...
And they used a very nice color scheme too.
They were the only ones that actually cut between camera positions.
Yes, and definitely the best music in the competition. I'm not sure who did that, but I have to say kudos about the general MIDI music done good.
Did I mention the intro that had the ray tracing?
Actually, we haven't mentioned that. I think it was the 12th entry called Coronal Box.
Yeah, that was really great. I loved it.
Yes.
But there was one thing that was missing, and it was the sound.
The assembly crowd made the sound.
I think the creators were pretty convinced that the crowd will anyway do some sort of music for the intro.
Yeah, but it could have been a possible winner of the competition if it had music.
Yes, definitely, because I have seen many 1K intros, but I have never seen a ray-traced 1K intro before.
Of course.
I think that is probably the first one.
Of course, using a Cornell box does not win you any prize for originality.
No.
But still, thumbs up for getting it into 1K.
Yes, definitely thumbs up for that. So maybe next year they can do something more spectacular than just a plain old Cornell box with the Dutch color scheme. But my question is, what are your favorite entries now?
I think I go with the traction and fit one.
Okay, so tendrils.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the OS X demo was nice, and the traction demo and the 2 last WebGL demos. I think those were my favorites.
Well, I like graphics algorithms, so the Coronal box was interesting, but the traction indeed had nice feeling to it, and fit demo. If I have a friend that made this 1K that plays piano, can I say that it was nice also?
Yeah, you can say. We are totally biased anyway, so.
Perfect.
So the coder part of my brain is the screaming Cornell box, but the aesthetic part of my brain, which is tiny, is torn between the attraction and the OSX demo. So one of them, I won't decide by my brain halves. So one of them is right.
My top 3 are actually the last one, which reminded me on Elevated, only in 1K.
Yeah.
Then the traction one, as already said, with a nice color scheme and nice moody music, and also the Fulcrum one. They are also doing. They are always doing this. This fractal stuff, and it's I enjoyed it, and it had a nice thinking to the music also.
Yeah, I have noticed that at least last year the entries that went quite high were done by the, let's say, Eastern Bloc countries, so by Russia and some were made in Finland and Hungary. But this year I didn't at least notice that there was many Russian entries anymore. But at least there was this. I'm not sure if Digimind is from Russia or from Hungary, but he has made a really good 512 bytes MS-DOS intros that were like better than anything you have seen before. But these 1K entries by Digimind, they are not up to the, let's say, normal standards, because he has made so good in let's say, smaller size categories.
Why couldn't you release a 512 bytes intro in 1K? I mean,
that's a good question. I think that because at least the intros I have seen from Digimind, he has a really much better 512 bytes MS-DOS productions than this year. So it would be totally awesome if he would do something for MS-DOS.
He should.
No, it's only PC and Linux and OS X.
Oh, they should change the rules.
Yeah, but they also allowed the Amiga. I think it's Amiga 500 there, or at least it could be.
Probably doesn't matter since it was just a copper effect, but still in 1K. That's
and Amiga.
Yeah. Well, we've seen better bootblock intros on Amiga, but it was a good effort at least.
Yeah, but now since we have discussed a lot that this 1K is the new 4K and 4K is the new 64K. What do you think? Is the 1K the new crown jewel of the demo scene real-time competitions?
No, you cannot do as much stuff on 1K as you can do on 4K or 64K. It's more about planning and trying to fit something at least into that size. And you really cannot have good multiple parts, and you cannot have like the best design. You have to do a lot of thinking and kind of taking out stuff from what you would have in 4K or 64K or in the demo.
Yeah. Any comments?
It's honestly to focus on a single item subject concept at a time, or single algorithm. For example, sound synthesis is extremely fun to program, but it's complex to implement anything else. For example, modern graphics architectures, you can't practically implement any data structures that you need to implement things you see at the higher end of the demo competition, KD trees and animations. So if you have some really tiny thing that you want to try, it's a fantastic platform for it, but if you have something complex, it requires more space.
Yeah.
In my opinion, what the crown jewel of the demo scene means that you get a release that tells you, oh, I didn't know my computer could do this. And for 1K, it's not so much about that. It's more about, oh, I didn't know my computer could do this in 1K, but it's not about, oh, I didn't know my computer could do this. I mean, we've all seen our computer render a coronal box probably, or maybe not because it's a boring model, but 64K and demo are still the divisions that actually take that crown, but maybe in the future.
Yeah.
Once we get a really kick-ass 1K, that I'm going to change my mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, what impresses me most is the development in the sound department, because a few years ago we rarely seen a sound in 4K intros, and then Forklang came and other clever synths, and now we have a great sound in 1K. So it's it's always progress, and I'm looking forward to the future of 1K.
But I don't think that we will ever reach the same quality in 1K as we did in 4K.
Why not? If you check 4K intros past like 10 years ago, they look like shit. Oh, sorry. And
family show.
Yeah. So, but really, if you look at the quality uprise in the 4K competitions, I bet that 1Ks are going to have the similar quality increase in a couple of years, because there hasn't been that many yet.
No, but well, not on PC.
Yeah.
But you still have less space to do stuff.
Yes,
and unless shaders will allow you to do all kind of weird stuff, then maybe we will see later on some more 4Ks, 1Ks.
Yeah.
One fascinating thing I'm especially expecting is that with the allowed WebGL and JavaScript that allows you to create graphics and sound without actually linking to any system libraries.
Yeah.
You can use OpenGL, and you could implement something, for example, list-based virtual machine and your own instruction set that generates the JavaScript required to generate demo. So you can, it encourages to think about compiler technology to help creating the instruction set that allows you to express your demo in the smallest space possible, and then expand it to the JavaScript that it's easy to work with in small space.
Now the viewers can think that who's from university and who's from not. So, but Eladith, I have to ask you about because I know that you're from University of Jyväskylä. Do they have a course about how to program a 1K intro,
well,
4K?
Not currently, but if you decide to come to study us, I'll stay here as a lecturer and make a course. And we actually have this Paavo who made a software synthesizer for 4K intro, and he's lecturing about machine-centered programming, and he has been talking about students about making 4K intros already. So yes.
Okay, so is University of Jyväskylä the definite, let's say, place to learn about demo scene if you want to be a really good programmer?
Well, we yet don't have that much culture and people that are around it, but we are growing, and we were art and other universities for soon it at least will be.
Yeah. How about Urs?
Yeah. I think you'll find seniors at every university if you only look close enough.
Yeah.
And you can also go into other fields than computer science, I have to say. I'm a physicist.
Actually, there was a physicist that made one entry to this combo. Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it the Pino entry? Yeah.
Yeah, I think.
Okay.
If you are going to make this course, please make sure to make a webcast of it, so that we can all enjoy it.
Oh, yes, and one thing is that web allows, for example, interactive animations, and you can visualize functions in real time, so it's really something fun for math that you can work with something like Mathematica, but no, it's all there and editable. And yeah, knowledge should be open and available to everyone.
Yeah, that's definitely. And past of a couple of years, I don't know if you noticed that this is not totally related to 1K intros, but I think it was 2 days ago or 1 day ago, the sources of second reality were released to the web. So I haven't checked that yet. It probably looks the same as other demos, but
you mean horrible?
Yeah, something that you need some sort of a knife to survive about it. But since second reality is the, let's say, one of the highlights of the PC demo scene ever, so it's good from the history perspective that the creators decided to release the source codes. Was it like a 20th anniversary now or something? Yeah. So how about the open source and demo scene? Is the open source killing the demo scene, or will it increase it?
I think open source really could benefit the whole demo scene, because of course if you code a demo in a week or so, it might not look very good. The code might be absolutely crap. Okay. But it would benefit other people who could see, oh, this is done this way. And if you have 2 comments, even 2 comments would be nice. Okay. They would understand what is going on around here.
Okay. Have you ever read the code that Navis codes?
Yeah, I've seen that.
You'll never. I'm sorry, you will never learn anything from that. It's like spaghetti code.
That's not true. For 4K especially, you can simply take a demo in 4K demo and use Crinkler to expand it, and you'll get all the OpenGL shaders nicely lined up in this source file. Yeah. And we actually, our demo group does this regularly, I have to admit, and we learn a lot from that. So in a way, all OpenGL 4Ks are by definition open source, because there's no way to scramble them in a way that we can't decipher.
But they can be obfuscated.
Of course, that's nothing you can do as a beginner. You have to know how to use them in order to disassemble them.
What does the variable A do? What does the B do?
Some people go to great lengths to have very naughty identifiers in their code, even in the expanded version.
What do you think about naughty variables?
Television, but
yeah. So I think are we all coders here, or?
I'm a coder.
Yeah. So who hasn't used the swear word as a variable in code? Well, definitely university folk. Yeah.
Well, I've used swear words on university code, official university code.
Yeah.
The bad guy.
I'm a physicist. Sorry.
Yeah, but normal for physicists, so don't worry. How about the physics and the demo scene? Are you using your knowledge about physics in demo scene?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I do what is every demo coder's dream job. I simulate plasma, so on big supercomputers. So basically, what I do for a living is the same as demo coding, except kind of different. And when you're tracking electrons in the solar wind, it's the same as ray marching, only you're going in curved lines instead of straight lines. But apart from that,
okay, so you will get really nice effects from there.
Yeah, except that everything in actual physics looks boring and looks like crap.
Okay.
Because space plasma is very boring.
And Comic Sans.
And Comic Sans, yes. Comic Sans is very important for science. So.
That's true. We are about to have all our time here, so the last words are probably that we really enjoyed the last few entries and the OSX entry, and especially the traction entry, but do you have any comments to the future competitions now?
I have one.
Yes.
I recommend that Linux guys should learn some
colors.
Yeah.
Any other comments?
I don't know, I think the whole 1K looks promising, so try to make reasonable trade-offs when you're coding.
Okay. And how about the general MIDI? Is it awesome?
Yeah.
Okay.
If faking works, faking is always better than doing it right.
Okay. Let's end this studio here and let's go to the cliffs.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. All right.
Very well.
Thank you, Waffle.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.